Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 4. In our last episode, we upgraded the uranium production a little bit, the uranium fuel cell production that is, so that we made sure that we had enough power for all of what we need to make sure that we are at least making a little bit extras, and then the extras will be shred. And now our nuclear power is much more stable. And so now that we have that stability and consistency in the nuclear power, we now need to look at the plutonium process so that we can consume that nuclear waste, that uranium waste, before we get to before it gets too full and then backs up and then nuclear power dies again. And what we're going to do with nuclear waste is we're going to make it and then shred it. And here's the reason why. Uranium fuel rods are worth 750,000 megajoules, so 750 gigajoules, as far as their energy, and they're worth just about 44,000 resource sink points. Comparatively, the plutonium fuel rods, which consume the uranium waste as part of it, are worth twice as much energy, and almost 4 times about as much, like 3.8 or something like that, times as much resource sink points. So in my mind, you're better off sinking these, plus then you don't have to worry about them making this plutonium waste that is useless and will just go into a place where it needs to be sunk, or where it can't be sunk, it can't be used, it's just got to be stored. So that's the plan for that. And speaking of the nuclear waste, if we go in here and look at this one, the uranium waste rather, the uranium waste is used to craft the plutonium in the plutonium chain. So we're producing right now 10 per minute times the 3 reactors, so 30 per minute, and that means that we need to produce, or we need to be able to consume 30 per minute minimum. And so I have my spreadsheet that we looked at yesterday in the episode yesterday, and I have it configured now to consume 33.33. And the reason is because I would like to consume some of the waste we have stored up, and eventually over time reduce that to 0. And then this will just obviously idle a little bit. It'll idle whatever that is, 10 whatever percent of the time, 11% of the time, whatever the number is. But it also makes some pretty decent looking numbers, and you can actually use this perhaps in your own plan. If you look at some of these numbers, they're all thirds and halves. So if you were producing enough uranium waste, which we're not, but if you were producing enough uranium waste, and you multiplied this by like 6 maybe? I think 6. So you had 6 of these, and 12 of these, and that's 2/3 times 6, which is 4 of these, and 4 of these, and 3 of those, 2 of these, 1 of these, etc. on down the line. You could consume, instead of 33.33, you could consume 200 uranium waste per minute, which would mean that you could have 10 per minute. You could have 20 nuclear reactors running off of 6 times this amount, which is pretty good. There's a slight qualifier here at the end, which I'll get to in a moment, but that's actually a really good balance and a really good smooth setup here. And I'm mostly using about half of the plutonium stuff, at least here. Half of them are the standard recipes, and half of them are the alternate recipes. These seem like the most reasonable recipes to me in terms of things like particle accelerators, taking a ton of energy and space, I assume, and things like that. So what we need to bring in for this is limestone, iron ore, sulfur, and uranium. Well, guess what? We already have those coming into that nuclear base. We also need nitrogen gas. More on that in a moment. And then we need to bring in aluminum ingots, but this is the qualifier that I was getting at. We're going to have some empty fluid tanks available, part of the qualifier. We need to bring in fused modular frames and radio control units, and then we're going to consume that nuclear waste at that rate and produce plutonium fuel rods at that rate and then just shred them, half of one a minute. So if you multiplied this by 6, you'd consume 200 uranium waste per minute, and you'd produce 3 plutonium fuel rods per minute that you could just feed into the shredder and earn whatever it was, 100 and something thousand each, so almost 500,000 points per minute if you had that much waste to consume, which right now I kind of do, but over time it would be overkill, and I don't really feel like building something that big for something that's eventually going to go away entirely. So we're going to build this eventually, not in this episode, I don't think, or at least probably not going to get started in this episode. But in this episode, I want to talk about the caveat. So we talked about nitrogen gas. Well, then we looked at the map where the nearest nitrogen gas was kind of nowhere nearby, and we have nitrogen gas here at the base. Here we have it coming in for a couple of things here. Both of these things on this side, actually. The blender is making, I can't even remember, cooling systems, and and these two manufacturers are making the fused modular frames. And if you recall from the spreadsheet, and this is where the nitrogen gas is coming in, by the way. If you recall from the spreadsheet here, briefly, we need to bring in fused modular frames and radio control units. Half a fused modular frame and 1 radio control unit. And I want to jump back here real quick to where we have fused modular frames. We have 2 extra, and radio control unit. Where are those at? Right here, we have 4.75 extras of those. Well, I kind of plan to have extras, not that many extras of this. I would have probably only made 2 or 3 at most, but that's okay. I think I made them for another reason, but they're going to serve this reason quite well, because we're going to have plenty extra here to feed into a transportation system. That transportation system being drones. And also in the drones is going to be some bottled nitrogen gas. And what I think what I want to do here is, and I left this empty fluid tank here only to remind myself that I need to make fluid tanks, but technically that's not necessary, because we have a net 0 here on the fluid tanks coming in and the packaged nitrogen gas coming in. So I just need to have drones going in either direction, one direction carrying the fluid tanks that are full of nitrogen gas, and then one carrying the empty fluid tanks back to be refilled. All we need to do is kind of seed that system with enough fuel tanks, or fluid tanks, excuse me, to populate this. So what I'd like to do, as I was looking around here, what I'd like to do is we have this this pipe coming up from below that's bringing the nitrogen gas in to this part of the base. I'd like to set up those first 2 drone ports right in this area here someplace, and have this pipe feeding into a packager that's making the that's packaging the gas and loading it into the drone port. And then the drone port next to it's going to bring in the empty tanks, which will of course seed with some tanks to begin with, drawn from that belt that has aluminum ingots on it right now, but eventually that's going to be a 0, so I'm not going to make a permanent upgrade to the base for that, like I mentioned in the last episode, or like I incorrectly mentioned in the last episode. So we'll put a packager here, and we'll put a constructor here making those tanks for a little while, and then we'll have 2 drone ports, one taking out the fluid tanks and one bringing in the fluid tanks, the empty ones, in order to be refilled. And then we'll just have, for right now, we'll just seed it, and then we'll just disconnect that, and then we'll be fine. And then we also, as mentioned, we need to have these fused modular frames at a rate of half of 1 a minute being sent over. So we're going to connect it onto this belt. I'm going to build this down here at the end of the bus, not at the end of the bus, but off to the side here a little bit. And then also this is where the radio control units are, and we're going to take 1 of those per minute off of their belt on the bus down here and set that up. So this splitter here and that splitter there are going to be replaced with smart splitters. We're going to push as much as we need to down the bus to where they're being used, and then we'll just have overflow coming in here. And the reason for that is of the cubes, the fused modular frames, we're currently making 3 per minute. and only a half of one needs to come this way. So I would rather push as much down that way as I can, and then have the overflow coming this way, instead of having it being split evenly. I suppose I could do some sort of fancy splitter where it split it all 6 ways, and then put 5 of them back together to send that way, and then 1 of them came this way, but that's a little like overkill. And then for this one, like I think I said, we're producing more than 4.75. We are producing 11.25 of these, and only 1 of them needs to come this way to be shipped out. So I don't see why I should do more than that. And then we'll need to run the battery belt down here, which we're making quite a few extra batteries as well. We have 5 in surplus. I don't know how many we're actually going to need, 5 per minute. I don't know how many we're actually going to need. That might not be enough. I may have to increase the battery production, but we're going to run the battery belt down here and to power those drones. So I want to expand this platform. Hopefully I have plenty. Okay, good. I want to expand this out and just square it off. I want these to be before this last splitter, I think. So it's going to kind of go up and then come right back down again. Maybe I could even split them down here before they go up. That might be a good thing to do also. Oops, I didn't want to do it that way. But I want to widen this platform and put these 2 drone hubs here at the end of the platform. So we're going to do that momentarily. And then we'll do also, like I mentioned, actually maybe I should do the nitrogen one first. The reason being that it's going to require that seeding of the containers. So maybe that's a better thing to do. And I'm going to put fences around here too, just so they don't fall off. So yeah, let's go set up some drone hubs. So I was looking at our drone ports. The drone ports are big, quite big. Let me get my flight suit on here. And the drone port again. These are quite big, but that's fine because we can just put one of them maybe right here. And someone was saying maybe right here. Maybe we had to push this out though. Let's see. This is the single port over here is where the batteries come in. And then this port would be the input for the nitrogen tanks. And then the output here of the empty tanks would go back into the what's it called, the packager, and then get fed into there. So yeah, I think we should push this edge out here just a little bit more. Maybe 2 more tiles. Yeah, let's go 2 more. And just as long as those are. Someone mentioned that these platforms on the drone ports are exactly 4 meters tall. And that's an interesting design choice by Coffee Scene, and it was probably intentional. But it's an interesting design choice because that means that these can actually be sunk in if you wanted to. They can actually be sunk into the floor here by one whole 4 meter foundation. And then you can hide the belts underneath your floor, which is definitely an interesting idea, especially if you're using 1 meter foundation floors, which I'm not, and I'm not all that interested in this base at least doing that kind of thing. That might be a good thing to do in a later series, but I'm not all that interested for this series. So, but I think this will work. We'll just push those out by 2 more meters. Or 2 more, not meters, 2 more foundations. 2. And then they'll go, let's see, you'll go here. There. Yeah, that's good. And then this will go here, right next to it. Then I have the walkway on the side there. Although I don't have one in the front, so maybe I didn't need to go all the way over here. But I also don't know, can I do... Oh, I can. Well, yeah, I'm going to fix this then. There's no point in my mind of having that at all, so let's just do this and then this one. And there we go. Alright, so what I want to do is set up a packager here. It would ideally be lined up with this, but I don't know if that's feasible or not. Let's see what that looks like. Packager. And we need to have the belt coming in and the pipe coming in, and then the belt going out. That might be good. That's actually good. It's actually really good, surprisingly good. And this is making packaged nitrogen gas. And that's unpackaged. Packaged nitrogen gas. There we go. And then this was how much nitrogen gas per... How many tanks, rather? 10 tanks per minute. So that's easy enough done. And we just need to set this down to 10. And it'll need power. And then this pipe's going to connect to it. I don't like that, though. I don't know that doing this is going to make a difference. Not at all. So let's do... I do have. Let's do this. Wait, is that... Oh, that's why it's off by 1. Okay, of course it is. Let's see. You go here. 1, 2, 3, I believe. Is the right number? No, it's only 2. Okay. I always get a little bit confused on the pipes, whether it's 2 or 3. I don't know why. And we're just going to go with that as the option. And then this will go into there, of course. And then we need to have the line of empty containers that are coming out of here, coming this way, just some distance, which I actually don't know yet what I want. And then we need to have a constructor also here that's feeding these in temporarily. So maybe we do... Actually, let's do that belt temporarily. And then we'll put in a constructor, or rather a splitter. No, a merger. That's not a... Okay. Well, you have them on your toolbar. Don't do things like that. Let's put it here. And go that way. And then hopefully this looks good going into... Oh, they're coming out of this one. This should look good if we go this way. I can turn it that way. And then there. And then I think this one I'm just going to do this. Wait, what did I put it in the wrong spot. Okay. It's in the wrong spot. And I'm trying to keep an eye on where those batteries go because of, because we're going to need to bring those in also. No, I keep hitting the... What am I hitting on? That pipe? Yeah, the pipe. There we go. Okay, that goes in, and then this can be replaced once more. And that goes into there. And then we just need a constructor here that's making the, that's not where constructors are. Constructor here. It's making the tanks for right now. I'm going to actually push it right up against that merger. And then when this is done, I'll take this merger out, and we'll go with it from there. Let's see. The aluminum, I don't have that spreadsheet open. The aluminum is on what bus? Looks like it was on C7. Which actually might not be the smartest thing that I've done. Because it's right behind this. Let's see. What if I bring it along this way? Excuse me. And put it in to where it's lined up with the back of this. Where can I get these to go? Yeah, I think this will be better in the end. I may need to move that that merger slightly, but that'll be better, I think. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna go here. Even though this is temporary, I'm still doing it the right way, quote unquote. Let's do a splitter here. Goes... Get out of the way, hypertube. The splitter goes this way. So then this one goes here. And that should be it. That is it. And then this is just going to make a bunch of these for now. Go there, and then there. This comes down to level 3, which is here. Get off that belt. You all come out. And then this is going to go across and back up again. Let's see, this needs to be here. This is what I always mess up, is where do these go? I think that's too far away. Is it? No, actually it's not too far away. That's perfect. Excellent. And then this goes in here. And then this should go right down here. And I don't remember what level I want this on. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I just did 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It goes in there. And then this lift can come down and go into there. And that's perfect. So now we just need power here. Let's see, we have a power pole right there. That'll work out super well. Because it can go kind of all the way down. Where does that connect to power? Actually, no, this one's actually better. I'm going to do this one. Oops. Grab this one. And I can put this kind of right like there. Encroaching. I guess not right there. What if I just put it like here? And then go into there. And then go into there. Because this one's, again, only temporary. And then this is going to... What did I do? Oh, I put something on the wrong button there. Let's go... There we go. This now needs to be there instead. This goes here, this goes there. And these come in here, and actually I could do this slightly differently. And these are going to make those tanks, empty fluid tanks. And I'm just going to let it make a crap ton of them. Because we need to kind of get this filled up and seated a bit with an outgoing supply here. These need power also, which I didn't actually consider, but we're just going to take this off of here. And we'll go with a power pole. Maybe like right here. You go there. Go there. That's centered-ish from the power poles. That's pretty close. Could have probably done a little bit better, but not much. And this is just starting to make these. I don't know what these stack to, so we'll have to come back and check this out. But I want to go ahead and place the drones here. Just because. Drone. Oh, whoops. Drone. And I don't have the portable miners. Right. Let's put down an equipment workshop. And make some portable miners. We don't really need many of these because we're going to have a handful of drone ports. So we'll start with 4. We know we're going to need at least 4 drone ports. Or 4 drone port pairs, I should say. 2, 3. And I don't have a space. Okay, that's fine. Drone. Goes there. And there. And so you can only build 1 drone per drone port. And I want to make 1 more of these. We're going to need it. 1 space. Oh! Just saw that I have a bunch of ingots in my inventory. Let's get rid of those. There you go. Have some. And this could handle 60. Eventually it's going to not get 60. But that's okay. Because hopefully this will fill up. Is it going into the drone already? I don't know how exactly these work. I did watch Calidorn playing with them, but maybe I have to set... We have to have batteries in there first, but they're going somewhere. That's for sure. They are going somewhere. Well, let's go ahead and feed in the batteries. I'll figure out how I want to handle that one. I think for this set, I think I could do something like this. Actually, something like this even. Have them both kind of pointed this direction, and then put the splitter somewhere in here between them. Ideally, I would bring the batteries along right here, which is just slightly off. So I guess I'll bring them over here someplace slightly different. Okay, so let's do this, and I'm going to put a splitter down here. Maybe right on the seam. I think that'll be okay. Somewhere in that neighborhood anyway. I wish I knew where these were going. Because that kind of bothers me a little. And it says it's loading. There's nothing to do to click on the drone. So I don't know where they're going. But we'll figure that out later, I guess. Okay, and then this splitter goes... Where are the batteries at? They are on bus... Is it D? Yes, D13. Ooh, they're way up there. Okay, so this is here. And then this goes right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hopefully that's correct. And we need to fly all the way down the bus and put in some belt, bring the batteries this way. Is that you? It is you. I don't have a smart splitter here. I don't know that it's going to be necessary, because the only other place we're really using batteries is to run the car, and I don't even need to technically use those for that. I could use any kind of burnable fuel, I believe. So this should be fine. Excellent. And this goes away. Let's bring the lift down first. To level 3. That's splitter 4 right there. Tick, tick. There. And I think that can just go straight across. Let me come over here, though. Stack a couple of these on top. There. A new splitter goes here. I don't think I lined these up right. Because I didn't. Looks like it actually goes right there. And yes, there's going to be a small belt connecting here. Why is that not right? Are these things wonky? I think they're wonky. The height on the ports is wonky. 1, 2. So we're going to do this instead. And then that goes to there, but I'm not going to do it even there. I'm going to do this instead. Come here. You go there. And then I can take these out. And connect that up. Okay, so I think this can go now. Too long. Stackable, maybe right around in here someplace. Kind of splitting the difference halfway. And that goes into... Please? Thank you. And then we need a splitter, a stackable here. 2. Lift. Take these out. Those come out. Here come the batteries now. That was good timing. Pretty good timing, I should say. No, do not delete infrastructure, Wally. 13. So I think that'll work out well enough. And this thing is still chugging along. Gosh, I wish I knew where those were. And so we're going to end up setting up a pair of these over where the nuclear stuff is to receive these items. And then to send back the full tanks. And yeah, hopefully. So I wish it... I don't know if it's loading up the drone so we don't see how much is in there or what's going on exactly with the storage. I was hoping maybe when the batteries got here we'd see, but maybe we will see when the batteries get here. In the meantime, I think we should come down here and build these other 2 drone ports. One of them is going to go... You know what? Maybe we do in line with this and... I guess we're going to need another row foundation. It's good that I didn't fence this off yet. Might have missed one. Wait a minute. Alright, it's showing 85 in there. I don't know where they're at, but they're in there. That's good. That's a way to tell. Deconstruct tool. Never lies. Until it does. If this goes... Can I fly? I cannot fly. It'd be nice if I could, but I cannot. Alright, let me do a precision button here. There we go. No. Needs to be this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here. This corner. Alrighty, and then there'll be another one right over here. Oh, I missed a few. Wow, did I miss a few. This one's going to be aligned with this corner here and this corner here, somewhere in this vicinity. And that'll load up these guys. So I think that will work. And I also think that's where we will probably end for today. Or let's go check out the drone ports now that they have power. Or the power. I'm doing power, so I'm talking power. Now that they have the batteries, which I guess is power. I'll finish up this platform and the fence. Oh, thank you for charging me up here. Batteries are going in by quite a bit. We don't have any sign of how much is in there yet, other than looking at this, which is 103. So I think that's a good answer. Oh, there's 104? Okay, it's just telling me... Interesting. Oh, if I deconstruct this, it'll deconstruct the drone. So the drone is actually holding the 100 and change. So I don't know how many we actually can haul, though. Nothing tells me how many we'll haul. There's nothing I can click on that I can tell. Wait a minute. Can I hit V? No, nothing. Okay, well, if you know, let me know in the chat, in the comments, or on Discord. Otherwise, we'll figure it out as we build this stuff over the next couple of episodes. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you then. Bye for now.